Hello people, another video. Something else I found, which is interesting. It's about confrontations with people who act as police, people who are dressed in the colour of law. Remember, for all the shiny lights, uniforms, flashy cars, guns, tasers, mace spray, you're still dealing with your fellow man. And that person is acting as a police officer. They've gone through some serious training to become a police officer. Well, I hope they've gone through some serious training about how to be a police officer. I'm not a police officer, I wouldn't know, but I will presume that. Especially acting in what is essentially a public role for the serve and protect, making the society safer. So we're going to look at this little confrontation between someone being a bit clever and your Joe Bloggs authoritarian policeman.
If you want my name, I'll give you everything. Who are you?
I don't need to provide that.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
If I'm asking you who you are and why you're videotaping our facility...
Okay, so let's start that. So cops obviously come up to him. Why are you videotaping our facility? Okay, so the guy's on a public pavement street looking at a public facility, which has probably been bought and paid for by taxpayers' dollars in this case. So essentially it's a public facility to serve the public on the basis that they can collect tax revenue in order to build this public facility, to pay this guy's wages, and to support the community, the local community being safe. So when he says, why are you filming your public servants that you've bought and paid for, and who are you? Because I'm your public servant and I would like to know who you are, master. You mean you don't know who your master is? And you're my servant, you don't know who's paying your wages? And you're asking me who I am? I'm the guy who pays your wages. I mean, that'd be a really smart-ass thing to say, but this is where the cop's coming at it from the wrong angle. He doesn't realise that he serves and protects, that he is a public servant. So he's going in full ham mode, you know. Basically just trying to this is intimidation in a way. He thinks he's doing a job, but all he's really doing is intimidating.
You have to provide me with some kind of identification. So do you have identification?
To require identification under the law, you need to be able to articulate a crime that I'm about to commit or I have committed.
Okay. You're going around, you're videotaping our state police facility for no apparent reason, and if I'm asking you who you are, you have to provide me with identification.
I don't have to,
it's
no.
just like anything else.
No, it's not.
Yes, you do.
I don't.
Yes, you do.
In fact, your public information officer already has dealt with this here, and so has a few other officers, so...
I don't care who's dealt with it. I'm asking you for identification because I want to know who you are right now. Well, and I want to know what your reason is for videotaping our facility.
I want to know. I want a mommy. I want a lollipop. Wow, this is like ringing true with the two ladies who stole the Girl Scout cookie video. That was Right to Remain Silent video. And you've also got there's another video I did where it was a bit more I, me. So the cop's like, I want to know this, I want to know that, I want to know that. And the guy's saying, well, you know, you got like, am I doing anything wrong here? What's actually going on? I'm just standing outside a public building making sure my public servants are behaving themselves? Is that so wrong? Obviously, he's put himself in a position where he's going to get all kinds of attention from the flashing light patrol. But we'll see how it transpires.
Well, first of all, Supreme Court has covered that filming out in public is perfectly legal.
I don't care what the
and that is not a suspicion of crime. So therefore, you have no suspicion of crime.
Listen, you can cite whatever you want.
Right.
Why are you videotaping? That's what I'm asking.
See, the cop's been out legal smarted. The guy thinks the guy in the street's got legal information in his head because he's obviously gone down the route of studying all that nonsense, and then the cops are being outsmarted because he clearly isn't. Cops aren't legally trained most of the time. Cops aren't legally trained, and very often they don't know the law either. So you have to be very, very sensitive when dealing with idiots. Idiots dressed as cops, very important. Now there is a reason that the public services want idiots dressed as cops, because they want people who go gung-ho in and sort out problems and don't necessarily always think about what they're doing, whether it's lawful or not. And obviously they'll damage, mitigate, in court with their own legal professionals and you know, they'll compromise with the judges in order to make sure that the cop who's done his best job, as long as he hasn't been outrageous, you know, they'll make sure that those things go by the by, because they've got to obviously maintain the status quo of how the system works. Yeah, so this guy, being out legally smarted, he's got a wise guy in front of him. Okay, just tell me what I want to know, because I'm basically telling you to tell me now. So he's kind of almost broken character in a way, because he's been outsmarted, so now he's just got to appeal to his fellow man one-on-one in an intimidating way to get the information that he wants.
Asking right now.
I don't have to answer that.
Well, I want to see a form of identification, identifying who you are, why you're outside my facility right now videotaping us.
My facility? Dude, that's a public facility. You're being paid by the public. You see, he's got a total wrong end of the stick here.
I don't have to provide that either.
Why not? Why do you feel that you do not have to perform any form of
Because that's the law.
No, it's not. If
Yes,
you're
it
out
is.
here and I want to know why you're videotaping our facility and you have to provide me some form of identification, you just can't come and walk away anytime you want and just come up with your things and fly them over our lot. I want to know who you are and why you're videotaping this right now.
You probably want to get a supervisor or somebody higher up.
Sure, here's my sergeant. He's coming out right now.
Bang on cue, the sergeant arrives. That's good. Someone knows the law around here, and we're going to find out how much he knows it.
And he'll tell you.
Okay, no problem. Hey, Len. He was flying the...
See, there's a reason cops have to be identified. That's probably something that's always overlooked, right? Cops have numbers, badges, names, right? They have to be open and honest about who this cop with the cop badge is, the uniform and the hat. The man inside it happens to be acting as the cop, since hence the uniform will display numbers as to the identity of the man in the uniform. So here they actually have their names printed on their uniforms. In England or in the UK, if you like, you know, they have numbers on their shoulders which you can take off. But ideally, they should always introduce. You know, it's only courteous. Even if you're a policeman, say hello. I'm PC Smith. I'm just out on the street, walking up and down, just wondering, is everything okay here? You know, there's a way about going about it in an unconfrontational way that might actually bear more fruit than just going up and saying, "I need to know who you are right now. You need to provide me ID." Yeah. Papers, please? Anyone remember that? Papers, please? Show me, it's your peppers.
Drone out in front, videotaping. All I'm doing is asking for a form of identification so we can identify who he is. He's refusing.
Go to your first sergeant, not a problem.
You see that? The first thing he said is stop, 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 stop. I don't know if you picked that up, but that's basically what the guy said from over the fence. He just says, look, let's diffuse this now. He knows what's going on. And, yeah, so he's just going to...
Identify who he is, he's refusing.
Go to your first sergeant, not a problem. Not a problem.
He can videotape as much as he wants. We don't have to get any form of identification.
He can videotape, not a problem.
All right.
Okay.
So you were wrong?
Huh?
You were wrong?
According to my sergeant, yes, I was.
So you learned something today. That's good.
Okay, don't worry about it. I'm pretty sure. Have a good day.
Interesting, that. Not an apology, no sense of remorse. This guy's probably happy to tase your ass and put you in handcuffs and arrest you maybe in about 5 minutes' time. Maybe that's why the sergeant came running out. He knows this guy's a fucking heavy-handed trooper, which is good in some circumstances of being a cop. But in the more placid elements of public nuisance, or in this case there was no public nuisance, but you know, this guy's mind, there was something going on. So he was ready. He was wiring himself up to go, and thankfully the sergeant came running out and said, no, Bob. Bob, no, stop, Bob. It's fine, Bob, please. I don't want to have to fucking bear liability for this. You know, you just go back in your car. You know, you're a good cop. I got uses for you when we're raiding other mothers' houses. Nearly swore then. Another thing you look at here is obviously the cop car's stopped in the middle of the road, flashing lights, and just stopped. I mean, he hasn't even really parked, in my opinion. And yeah, so they can do that. Why can't you? Probably because you have a bit more respect for your fellow man. But obviously, when you put flashing lights in your car, delusions of grandeur, I think, is a term that might be appropriate. Should have apologised, though, in my opinion. And maybe ask the sergeant, oh, really? You know, didn't want to learn, didn't want to establish the facts of what Sergeant, could you just explain that to me? I mean, this guy's outside filming us. Surely that's a bit suspicious. No, no, no. You serve him. Leave him alone. Yeah, so I like this. The guy stayed calm, most importantly. He was a little bit, you know, citing legal stuff back to him, which is interesting. You know, it shouldn't really be necessary to learn all the codes of government, because they're government codes. The government essentially serves you. The sergeant that came out was perfect. That was brilliant. Stop. It's okay. Nothing's wrong. And that's it. Get on your way. Didn't have to cite any. The sergeant didn't cite any codes. I mean, you would have thought he would have started laying on the codes thick. But he didn't, because he knows. Stop. Enough. Game over. Don't mess around. You can't do that to people. Well, you can, but you're gonna have an issue. I think that's it. Oh, here we go. There's a bit more.
You hear me?
I can hear you.
Sorry for the inconvenience. Right now with the drones, there's a lot of this. I said sorry for the inconvenience. Right now with the drones, there's a lot of, I guess you could say, I wouldn't say misinformation, but it's an area that we're not used to dealing with. All right?
Well, that's apparent. I've dealt with your troopers already on this.
Yeah, I'm sure you have it. Not a problem. That's why I came out here. I saw that he was talking to you, so.
You probably should educate them a little bit more on it. It's going to be a more...
It's kind of an area that's new to everybody, and until they have legislation on it.
Which there is none.
Right. So sorry for the inconvenience. So.
Yeah, interesting. So they're waiting for the legislations to know how they can crack down on your skull. Because once a piece of paper, this is important, once a piece of paper says that they can stamp on your guts and kick your head in for flying drones around, they'll more than happily follow that piece of paper legally. And even if they do that, it doesn't necessarily mean it's lawful what they've done. So, you know, once that piece of paper is written down, once it's, you know, once they can subscribe to that text, they're more than happy to do it. It's funny. Once I've had this with bailiffs and people like that. Is one bailiff who I shooed away in probably less than 8 minutes. He went to his car, and his boot was full of paper, and he was looking through all this stacks of paper in the boot of a tiny car as well. And I was just like, are you looking for that one piece of paper in the back of your car? That means that you can start doing what you wish to do or what you hope to do. It's amazing, you know, the power of text to influence people's brains and their maybe in some respects their morality is scary in some ways. And it's like the old Chinese proverb: if you believe everything you read, don't read at all. If you can't trust yourself to behave properly to your fellow man, don't read little bits of paper that say go stump his guts out, not unless they have been done in such a way that means that someone is bearing a liability if you stumping the guts out. Obviously you always bear liability for your own actions, and following orders that aren't necessarily unlawful or haven't been correctly or properly sealed. You know, like a warrant the warrant is a word of a good man. Okay, so a good man goes to court and says that guy's doing this. The man who reports a crime has reported it. He's bearing a liability for the following actions of all the warrants and all the cops going around and stuff like that. So it's important that you understand that someone's going to bear liability. The man's going to bear liability, and if this guy hadn't have interfered, that cop was acting completely out of character, dressed in the colour of law. Yeah, looking smart and professional, and I'm sure he is a professional cop, but he just let it slip there. The authority, his power got to his head, and he thought, right, I'm going to go out and deal with this guy. And thank God this guy was there, because if that ended up in like an arrest, a taser, a head stomping, you know, this guy seems like he would have known what to do to, get that cop would have been fucking fired. He would have lost his career, potentially. Yeah? If he's done something, if he's, you know, he could have even gone to prison. Yeah? If this goes to court and the cop stamped on someone's guts on the side of the street just for flying a drone around and being a you know, whatever, wrong place, wrong time, almost inciting, no, not inciting it, but, you know, just being clever about what he's up to outside the police facility. But this guy's right, you know, he's apologising on behalf of his officer, which is nice. He's trying to set it all straight. You know, please don't get clever with the courts with this. You know, we're trying to do our best. You're trying to do whatever you're doing.
Okay, alrighty, have a good one.
Yeah, nice little apology from the sergeant. That's very because the other guy didn't apologise, so thank God the sergeant did.